Whoops. We'll edit that out.
Just so you know, everybody, Paul just sucker punched his microphone.
I did. I got dance crazy.
Hello.
Hello, is this Dan?
Yeah, it is Dan.
Hey, Dan, this is Paul, Outsider Tackle Box radio show and podcast. We got Tommy here with me.
Hey, what's going on, Dan? How you doing?
How's it going, guys?
It's going quite well. I just knocked over my mic because we were doing a dance break while calling you, and so that is going to be in your, unfortunately, in your intro. I got a little bit dance happy we and knocked it
dance over. While we're calling people because we play the music and we hear the music so often, so we just kind of were like dance break and we just start dancing, and it's just something
you gotta have fun with it, right?
Exactly, it's just something fun to do. And Paul just gets out of hand and just sucker punched his microphone. I did, and I should, it has to be this close. I usually have two mics. They mic me up a bit because I seem to move. I move a lot, and so I'm not always close to the mic. And it's all about the audio, and we don't want to ruin it for our listeners. And so this time I just knocking stuff over. But thanks for coming on the show. The idea behind the radio show and podcast is to spread happiness to the world through the joys of fishing. And you sent in a photo where you had two good-looking bass. And Absolutely. So we want to hear your fish story, maybe what bait you were using, the location of the fish, if you want to share that. And or you could just make it up and tell somebody where you didn't catch that fish. I do that to Tommy all the time, and I tell him, hey, I was fishing, and I tell him the location, and then he goes over there, and I'm in hopes that I don't that he doesn't catch anything, and I get to smile and laugh about it. So you did include the bait that you were using, so in the photo. And so I'm looking at it now. We want to see what type of, where those baits came from, and so we can maybe use it and catch a fish that size. And then the size, if you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So your fish story. Go ahead.
That was out this summer. I live in Chicago, Illinois, so that's just a local quarry around here. It's public. People can actually go fish it. It's out in Crystal Lake. But yeah, it was really interesting. It was, I believe it was around June, May, if I had to guess. I was out with a buddy who hadn't been fishing in a while, and I wanted to get him on some, and I knew that was a good spot. We saw him busting around this island on topwater. So I tied on, I believe the first one I tied on, I have to double check. I believe it was the gunfish, Lucky Craft gunfish. Just a walking bait, topwater. Instantly hooked up. And right when I set the hook, it snapped at the tip of my rod. For whatever reason, I was using probably 20-pound braid. But just clean snapped at the tip of my rod. Unfortunately, I didn't wait too long. Tied on the stutter step, the other bait on the left, I believe. And right away, instantly again hooked up. They were just on, biting, and the second I got that fish in, I noticed there was a bunch of line wrapped around. I wasn't sure if it was from that fish itself or the previous one, and when I grabbed it, I ended up grabbing the fish by the mouth and had some line in my hand, and I could feel shaking still, even though the fish wasn't shaking. So once I grabbed that other line, I'm hand reeling it in, and I have the other fish in the boat. It was the other fish, so they must have been schooling out there, wrapping up in each other, and I just happened to get that lure back and caught two fish at the same time.
That is
on one
awesome.
cast.
That is awesome.
That is awesome.
Lucky.
Yeah, I was super happy. I mean, that's one of my favorite baits. Caught like a 37.5-inch pike on that gunfish, Lucky Craft, and I wanted it back so bad. It was just amazing that happened.
That's awesome, though, that you caught two at the same time. That's cool. I mean, that's that is an
I'm
actual
lucky
story.
enough if I catch one.
Yeah, you are. But
it's probably because I'm always like trying to film you and like let's do stuff for the company, and then I end up not catching fish, and then you just pointed out, hey, do you ever catch fish?
No.
Yeah, I mean, you see pictures on Instagram of these guys catching two on spooks all the time, or jerk baits in schools, but that's one of the only times I've ever heard of someone catching a fish on two different baits on the same cast.
Yeah, I mean, that's
one of the most random things I've ever had happen to me.
That's awesome. I mean, personal story, actually, I was out fishing with Felix one time, and I've seen Felix actually catch the same fish twice, and that was because he had caught a fish. It's not as extravagant as you may think. He caught a fish. We were trout fishing, and we were float tubing. Caught a fish, unhooked it. It fell back into the water, but he panicked when he went to grab it. I think he smacked the fish. So the fish just fell and then just laid there. And he was like, "Oh, I lost it." And I'm like, "Dude, it's floating right next to you." So he ended up grabbing it and put it on his stringer and had it later that day. But it was just like,
that's one way to do it.
I was like, "Dude, you just smacked the crap out of that fish when you were trying to grab for it."
You know, the next time you tell that story, Tom, let's make sure to say that fish swam away and bit the bait. He grabbed the hook a second time.
It was still alive. It was just stunned. Like it just,
I know, but let's make it a fish story worth telling, please.
Oh, worth telling. Okay, yeah, no, it was. You forget who you're talking to.
No, I'm kidding. It was a good story, almost. It was almost there. Did it for me. I was listening.
Yeah, no, we're just like you've said before, we're just all a bunch of idiots. Everybody that runs this company is just a bunch of idiots.
Well, I can't say you are. I would never include just one person, so I include me in it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. It's not that I want to include me. I just, sometimes
you just it feels better if you like.
It's a management thing. You don't single people out. You include the group. You say things as a group.
See how I get treated here, Dan? This is ridiculous.
We love the photos, Dan. We love that you caught two fish. And awesome. Thanks for coming on the show. We were supposed to have you on before. We know you're busy, and so thanks for coming back on. Your photo still gets engagement, and so Tommy's looking at how many people have seen your photo, so that's a good photo. Got you on the show. Please continue to send it in and come back. You're welcome to come back anytime you have a fish story you want to tell. We know it's a little bit the weather is cold.
It's a little cold over there right now, we know.
But
I'm looking to get on some ice today, hopefully.
There you go.
Yeah, we want to see those too. We've had a couple of ice stories so far. Mm-hmm. But we could always use any fish story. So yeah, we enjoyed our time with you, and thanks for being so active on our social media platform, Facebook.
Awesome.
And
thanks for having me, guys.
From all of us here at Outsider Tackle Box, Tight Lines, Fish More.
Have a great Saturday. Enjoy some ice fishing if you get in there.
Yeah, you guys have a good one.
All right, take care. Have a good one, bud.
Thanks, Dan.